lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back with me again, my boy Eli. Talk some
What
turtles.
up?
We're
Turtles.
doing issue number 9, volume 4, as we continue this read through of this amazing volume of Turtles. Crazy to think about that this is already 20 years old. I'm just looking at the cover date. This is April 2003.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And what a great cover. I love that. I'm just going to say it now because it's in the back of the book that Michael Dooney says that like normally he doesn't do anything digitally, but he did the first turtle traditionally and then used Photoshop to put the rest of the turtles in the back. And I don't know if like, I mean, I'm not an artist, but like Photoshop had to have still not been around that long, right? Like,
yes, this is definitely very early Photoshop.
yeah.
But he also says that he went to the trouble of making them like a little bit different too. I feel like I don't see that, but like, yeah, it's definitely like super early Photoshop.
Yeah.
He said he painted the main one and then also painted the background.
That makes sense. The turtles themselves, or the Turtlebots themselves, look very similar. I can't see the differences, but I'm sure if there are, he would be the one to ask. But yeah, like this is leading into like also we've been talking about April's Got Nanobots by Baxter Stockman. Inside her, obviously, I think most people will be able to tell that these are going to be the ones to combat that.
Yeah. It's sucks that this picture on the right on the inside is so like pixely.
Yeah.
But the technology wasn't there, and probably proofing was tough at first. This is the first printing. I'd wonder like to see the second printing if it's less digitally. But they got some great looking tones in this one, man. I think maybe they're moving to like digital tones. I'm not exactly sure, but
it feels kind of like that. I mean, especially the sky. That's not traditional tones.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
These opening pages are fucking horrific.
Yeah, they're
like
awesome.
A horror movie. They are awesome, but it's like a horror movie. So we're in Venezuela. Is that where we were earlier too with that one alien creature, right?
Yeah, because later the dinosaur's like, you're not with the trees. The means is trees is or whatever. And he's referring to those like wooden characters.
I kind of glossed over that part. But yeah, so like the Utroms are examining a crash site in Venezuela, which is like what I just said, where that kind of tree alien was. And obviously one of them, if not two of them, are nervous about being there.
And those are the two that like, oh no, they get attacked right here at the bottom of the ship. I forgot, by another thing Jim Lawson is amazing at drawing is dinosaurs. And I mean, he goes crazy on these things, and they're terrorizing these Utroms like crazy. They just are battling it out.
You know what sucks is this dead space in the middle of the page.
Yeah.
I wish like it was, because it is one image. I don't think he didn't draw it like that. It just got split up. So I wonder if that's like the printer or something. Because I remember the Kayfabe channel, they were going through those reprints that IDW did in the original size format. And when they did it, there was all that gutter space that was separating the image that wasn't in the original Turtles comics.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of, I think it's kind of ironic that I'm going through volume. Peter made a note of it in those episodes, and then you see it in here.
And this is two different sizes on this page too.
Yeah, it's a little off. But anyways, that's me nitpicking. But I love this upward shot.
Yeah,
of the Utrom right there,
and upward right to the downward while the action goes. Yeah, he's like, "The rock your blaster." Because they were like, oh, we won't need blasters on the last page, but they're like, actually we do. And then on the next page, it's revealed that like these dinosaurs talk, Yeah. It's great. And it's great that they aren't like, hello, old chap, how's it going, friend? They are talking through these giant teeth, and they don't really have lips, so they wouldn't be able to speak exactly.
They don't have lips. They have smaller dinosaurs also have smaller brains. So they're not hyper intelligent. So even though they're given a little bit of I don't know how to word it. Not smarts, but even though they can start talking, they're still not super intelligent, right? Like they're like
we
childlike
don't know.
almost.
Yeah,
Childlike.
exactly. Yeah, they got some bigger brains, but
Yeah.
he's like, he's got bright beamy, and he like shoots at him, but he's like, and here it is at the bottom of 4 where he's like, is you friends of the nasty trees? So
Yeah.
there is like
We
maybe
hates is the woods. Yeah.
yeah, because they snap and they like bite him. And the other guy's like, yeah, bite him, snap his spine, then eat the meatses.
The fear of the Utron's face right here in the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude.
And they kind of really, you get to know these characters, they introduce them pretty well, and then like, they really take their time and show you these dinosaurs mess with them, and ripping off the top of them where they're usually like, okay, there's usually meatses up in the top of these human, and then they're like, nah, tricky little meatses trying to run around.
Reminds me of Gollum. The
Yeah,
way they
exactly.
talk.
Yeah, because they do actually say "my precious" later.
Yeah. But look, like they realize that it's not meat, it's fucking metal. And dude, you
Yeah,
see it too, like you said, like they are toying with them. It's not like they're begging, like, please, as one intelligent life form to another, I beg you, don't do this. We can talk.
yeah.
And Meats wants to talk.
No, he's like, no, we want the meatses. And then, he just takes him off,
Oh,
throws him up, and chomps him down.
the rip right
Yeah,
there. Oh
yeah,
god,
dude.
that's vicious, dude. Yeah, he just throws it down his gullet.
It's really great. And then, they continue along here. They're like ripping stuff down, and they're like, I smell the more meatses. Dude's like hiding under the bridge. Classic place to hide from dinosaurs. It's so funny. Calling him stupid little meatses. And then the other Utrom is like out of his body, and he's like scurrying along the bed of the woods. I don't know what I was trying to say. The wood bed.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, let me get out of here. But
Yeah.
then it's also like speech. How?
Climbing up that palm tree.
Yeah. That's really great.
I
And then he
love
just
this. Look at that, dude.
yeah, this is perfect. There you are, my precious. There's the my precious, my sweet and tasty meatses. And it just boom. That's a great scene ending right there.
Oh yeah, dude. It's so good. And look, we still haven't even seen turtles, dude. We're still just all
I
on this
love it.
island.
I love
So
it.
do I.
It's such good storytelling, and all the characters in Turtles are so compelling that at this point it doesn't need to be. And certainly that's what these people who Pete's getting mad at in the comment section is like, because he even says like, and we'll get there, but he even says something about these people on the internet more than just like the letter writers,
So yeah, we got he's the general, right? He was
I
a
think
general.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's getting on the ship. He's about to take off. He's trying to contact,
Oh,
the Neutron
Captain.
base. Captain Gloner. And as he's about to take off, those fucking dinos got other plans for him, dude.
Yeah. They're like, damage to the grav drive, complying. There's swarming the ship, I would think like just like take off as fast as you could and like blow them off, but it's like these ships aren't made for like speed, and so they're just biting and ripping everything until
It's weird that they're able to do that though, right?
yeah.
Like,
But they're smart. These are smarter, and they find a way to open the door and get their meatses.
crazy, dude.
I smell the meatses.
I know I could hear like that kind of voice as I was reading it. And this would
Yeah.
translate so well into like a episode of like a cartoon for
Oh
sure.
my god, this whole thing would be so great as a
Yeah.
cartoon.
And then
Right.
we get back to New York, dude.
And we see that like they're saying, the people have gotten so blasé. Like New Yorkers can adapt to anything in no time, and here it is, just like aliens are cruising around, and it's like ain't no big thing to people.
Yeah, Donnie. Obviously it's Donatello. And luckily we are not just left with the symbol on his fucking chest, on his carapace. We have, his bow staff in the back, so you know who we're talking about.
Right.
And it is crazy. He's just like on the bus, walking down the street. Nobody's giving him a side glance at all.
Yeah. Like these guys love it. Like the turtles love it. And man, this upcoming scene is super cool. I mean, not this one we'll get through, but so he's just talking about how, he's really digging it. And this is the first of a few. Peter Laird was obviously an early Macintosh adapter. So they're using Photoshop on these iMacs. And here's the first of the next couple issues. There's like an Apple drop in each one, and so like those guys at Apple sure do know how to make some hardware. So funny.
I know it is. It's funny because like Apple's so much bigger now than they were then,
right. Yeah. Like at that point they weren't so ubiquitous. Now it's like Apple is in almost every person's life every day. And especially me who worked for them for so long. And my dad is like so into it that now when I see something like this, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
It's cool little drop in there.
Yeah.
Especially Donnie being such a tech head, like
exactly. Yeah.
It's perfect. Then we got this little girl walking up with her mom. Are you a real alien? Yeah, you could say that, I suppose.
I guess, dude. Yeah.
And then she asked what planet he's from.
It's funny too that he doesn't try to like make up a story. If it was like Mikey or something, I feel like he would be like, "Oh, dude, I'm actually from Gnarlyville, Mars or something." But he's Donatello, who's like again a scientist, person of knowledge, and so he doesn't try to make too much stuff up. And he just encourages this little girl, like she's got goals, she wants to be an astronaut. Donnie's like, "Hell yeah, dude."
Yeah.
Man, the detail on the shell is so cool.
It's like we're the same person. I was literally just about to say the fucking shell.
There's so much great stuff in these books, man.
I know.
Really great brushwork they're doing, and Donnie's like, just remember to do all your homework, little lady. Let's get out of here. And her mom's like, I can't believe you touched that.
Dude, that's where we see, dude. And like there's still and it happened earlier in the series. It's going to happen again where not everybody is accepting of them. So while you can see, and like I think that perfectly encapsulates like generational things, like where especially with like racism, like an older generation is like, like you pass that down to your kid, but like this is like breaking that cycle because she's totally accepting while her mom is still like, I can't, don't touch him, don't look at him,
Kids are way more open to this stuff.
Yeah. And then he just walks by the store. This should do nicely. Comes down.
Yeah, it's great, man. He's we're kind of like, what's he doing? And he's got this little remote, and he's like, okay. And then we're back here, and this is from Volume 2. This is like where Volume 2 left off.
I did not remember this at all.
Oh yeah,
I totally forgot what the hell he was doing.
Yeah. This to me is very much like something like Silence of the Lambs or something. Where this person comes back, is visiting someone like in a maximum security prison. They know this person is like insane, but like they can help him. Donnie's really talking to him like, Jodie Foster, and she doesn't want to talk to this insane person, but he's like, I'll have 5 beans and a nice Chianti.
Yeah, and it's like, look at how long he's been dead. 4 years, 7 months, 12 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes. No, wait, make that 43 minutes. And
that's probably like the length of time it's been since Volume 2 was put out, maybe.
I think
at that point.
I think you're probably right, but I feel like it might have been longer though. Because I don't think it was 99 that series ended.
That Volume 2 ended?
Yeah, because there was a Volume 3 after that was in 96.
Yeah, you're right.
But
it's more like showing you when in time this actually,
because he might have gone down there before too, right? Like
true, like
in that time period.
Yeah, because I feel like I was led to believe that this was like 10 years after we last saw the Mirage Turtles or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, this is crazy. He's trying to get information about the nanobot probes and like why you did that, and he's being real cagey about it.
It's a great scene, dude. I love this.
Yeah, it's super like kind of frightening, and you see Donnie here with these repeating panels kind of, and it's just like even for Donnie, he's like, I can't even put up with this psychopath to get this information. I'm taking this like clearly Triceraton gun, maybe from Zog, and he's just like, this is over. I should have done this a long time ago. And with a strap, he just destroys him.
Fucking amazing, dude. And like this is another thing, like we talked about last issue. Leo kind of a little bit not out of character, but seeing a different side. This is a side of Donnie you don't ever see either.
Yeah, absolutely. He's never like destroying technology, or especially like, this is a killing. This is murder to him because this is technically a human, brain that's been put in a body.
I love this sizzles, crackle, and then just like the complete obliteration of everything inside that room. And then he just closes it off and sulks away.
Yeah. Like that room, nobody's going to get in that room for a long, long time,
Yeah.
We are back to the hospital, and Casey's got his Moto Guzzi shirt on. That's a major Jim Lawson artistic something he always pops in there.
Yeah.
His favorite type of bike. And then also he has that other comic called Guzzi Le Mans about the girl or the lady bike rider who's gets into all different types of action. Super fun comic.
They're all wondering where Donnie is.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. They're like, why would he leave at like such a time? Like, where is he? He's just like, Leo's like, he'll be back. He's like, thanks for the vote of confidence, Leo. Speak of the devil. And they're like, all right, dude, they've got a plan to save April. Are you in or are you out? Yeah, and they really are they're like heavy on the tones in this issue, man.
Yeah, and they got a little, demo that they're gonna show their whole plan of what to do with the nanobots.
Mm-hmm. And what they look like.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of starting with this overview, like he says, here's April, here's what they're like, collecting in these spots, like her hips or elbows, the joints and stuff. They tried to use like electroshock and acoustic waves, but nothing worked. And then we get this super graphic, like
inside look of her image
of it's great, man.
Got the blood cells in there too.
I love how much time they take to roll out these like big reveals,
Yeah, it helps build the tension. It's like, it's not just, I think that's important, like the pacing of the book is really well done.
Right. And again, as a self-published book, they're not bound by like, sorry, my chair's a little squeaky. They're not bound by like, having to do like this certain amount of pages, only having 23 pages because we need room for ads. It's like they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, every book is at least 30 pages or more of comic book pages, It's not just like now it's like 22 at Marvel and DC.
Yeah, and I think next issue is even more. Next issue is
like almost 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's just talking about, look, we zoomed in even more. Here are these like little robots. Here's like, we're going to try to destroy them. They are in her fluids. But we're going to fight fire with fire. And I've customized our little robots. Check them out, bro.
Yes.
Turtlebots.
And this is also, for everybody that has been paying attention, this is that same Utrom scientist that was looking through that magnifying glass at these superhero turtles in issue 7.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure this is the same scientist. Another great cliffhanger to end on. And like we already said, and it's mentioned at the end of this book, there's going to be a death. It's going to be an extra large issue. And I think they only charge $1 more. And it's still cheaper than any book, the cheapest book you'll get nowadays.
Absolutely.
A lot of letters pages.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. The first one actually is a lot talking about like self-publishing. This person's like interested in how to,
oh yeah, you're right.
Get into publishing. But this is where we get a lot of letters here. And then the last page of the letters, Peter goes off. All right.
And rightfully so, dude.
Yeah. And there's a couple things like I'd like to read a little bit about like how he's talking about the lack of action. Yeah. A lot of people have groused about this, and I'll admit it. Volume 4 has yet to reach, and in fact may never reach, the levels of action seen in the original series. But the salient point here is that Volume 4 is not Volume 1 and was never intended to be the same. How could it be? Kevin Eastman isn't involved. These guys are friends. Everyone's always like, oh man, they like broke up or whatever. They're like, no, they never did.
Yeah.
So his particular set of contributions to that original series is not a factor in this one. The world is different than it was in 1984. I'm nearly 20 years older than I was when we started the first series, and I think it's reasonable to imagine that my tastes and attitudes about what I like to see in comics may have changed over time. Absolutely. Like, that is something that fan bases should give the leeway to a creator to grow and change and become different. And I think that's why this book hits so hard, because he was able to grow and change and write something that's not just action, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with everything Peter said in here.
Yeah.
So I just look, everybody's gonna have a complaint about something. That's just the nature of the world. And it's funny to see that even 20 years ago, people were still the same. It's just more noticeable now because the internet is so much. I mean, there's social media. There wasn't social media back then. I don't think. Maybe MySpace was around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember.
I don't even know. Not in 2003.
Yeah. So look, obviously obviously people are going to have their opinions and like their complaints about how he answers letters and why he doesn't answer every question. Like, I love that he basically says, I don't owe you anything. This like not thinking of like that we as creators owe you something because you buy the book. And he's right. Like, they don't owe us anything.
Yeah. And he's also like, I make the book, I sell it to you, you buy it, the transaction is complete. There's no owing on either side. Like, that part of the transaction is complete.
Yeah, dude, it's I love his responses. And then we got
this statue. Now I want to go look for it, man.
Yeah, I would love to have those. Probably expensive as hell. And then, like I said, this is the story of this cover that Michael Dooney. I like that he gave a little note on the back. But another great issue. Like I always say, make sure you follow Eli and Comic Lounge. Our links are down below. Hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, so you're notified every time new video goes up. And keep joining us along as we go through Volume 4 of Ninja Turtles. And on that note, we're out.
Shell yeah.